There's a moment, somewhere between midnight and dawn, when the world goes still and the night holds its breath. Most people never feel it. They're asleep, safe under warm blankets. But if you ever find yourself awake at that hour, really awake, you might notice something. The dark isn't empty, and sometimes it watches. I never believed that, not until last winter. My name is Aaron, I'm 32, and I used to live alone in a quiet house tucked deep in the countryside. I moved there for silence, for peace. But peace is a fragile thing, and mine shattered the night they arrived. A cold evening, wind brushing the trees, the kind of night where sound carries far. I was lying in bed scrolling my phone, halfway to sleep. Then, footsteps outside. Not heavy, not panicked. Just slow, careful steps on frozen grass. At first I assumed it was a deer, until I heard voices, 2 of them, whispering like they didn't want to be heard. I turned off my lamp, listened. The voices stopped instantly, right when I moved. That's when the chill hit me. I hadn't felt fear yet, just alertness. But that silence, that was a hunter's silence. Someone, or something, knew I was listening. I got up slowly, walked to the window. Nothing but darkness. Yet it felt like a dozen unseen eyes stared right back. I stepped away and locked my bedroom door, a pointless habit in a house with no neighbors for miles. Still, it made me feel like I had some control. I didn't sleep much. The next morning, frost glazed the yard like powdered glass. Everything silent, undisturbed, except my window frame. Thin scratches ran across the wood, long, shallow marks, too deliberate for an animal. Something had been close enough to touch where I slept. I tried to rationalize it. Branches, wind, a raccoon. But raccoons don't whisper. Around midnight, it began again. Soft shuffling outside, then whispering. But this time, laughter joined it. Not loud laughter, soft, playful, almost curious. I grabbed a flashlight, crept downstairs, and peeked through the living room curtains. The beam hit nothing but the yard. And then, a shadow moved across the edge of the tree line. Not walking, gliding. My heart dropped. I shut the curtains and backed away, my breath shaking. I didn't check the window again. Sometimes not seeing is safer. The third night, right at 1:13 a.m., my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Text message. "Are you awake?" I stared at the screen. Another message. "Look outside." I didn't. I turned off my phone instead, closed my eyes, and waited for morning like a child hiding from a nightmare. Because deep down, I already knew. Whatever was out there did not break windows. It didn't charge doors. It didn't need to. It wanted me afraid. And fear was a doorway. The next evening, I sat in darkness, listening, trying to catch them first. At 11:50 p.m., I heard crunching on the gravel driveway, then 3 knocks at my front door. Slow, heavy, not human rhythm, more like someone imitating a knock, learning it. I froze. A minute passed, then my doorknob turned, gently, like someone testing it. I backed away slowly, and then, a voice through the door. "We've been waiting for you." Not one voice, many. Whispering in unison. I called 911, voice shaking. Operator said a patrol would be 15 minutes. I didn't have 15 minutes. Footsteps circled my house, windows tapped, scraping, like fingernails across glass. Every light bulb in my house flickered once, and died. I crawled upstairs in the dark, climbed onto the roof through the small attic window, heart racing. Below me, shapes moved, not figures. Shapes, like shadows wearing skin badly. They searched silently, drifting around the property, waiting, listening, thinking. The police sirens finally wailed through the distance, and the shapes melted into the trees. Officers walked the property. They assumed home invaders, drug freaks, trespassers. But nothing was missing. No tracks. No footprints. Not even heat signatures left behind from bodies. You don't walk away from snow without leaving footprints. I packed what I could before sunrise and left. Didn't care about furniture. Didn't look back. Some places don't want you to leave, and some things follow you anyway. 3 nights in my new apartment. Safe in the city, and I finally slept deeply. But last night, at 1:13 a.m., my phone buzzed again. Same unknown number. One message. We found you. This time, there was a photo attached. My bedroom window, taken from outside. I live on the 4th floor. I've been sitting here since, lights off, holding my breath. Like if I stay quiet, they won't know I'm awake. But the phone just vibrated again. They're here. Something is outside my apartment door, and I can hear whispering through the keyhole. Not angry, not violent, just patient, waiting for me to move, waiting for me to hear them, waiting for the moment the night holds its breath again. Because once it does, I think they come inside. They say houses remember, but mine answered. It answered the first time at 1:13 a.m. when a whisper slid through the keyhole and said my name in a voice that wasn't alive anymore. Beat. If you ever hear your name in a locked room, do not answer. I did. Soft inhale. That's when the windows started watching back. I grew up in a thin little town that could fit inside a church bell. My father left before long division. My mother stitched 2 jobs together so we ate and slept indoors. My younger brother, Sammy, is autistic. Not broken, not fragile. Just tuned to a frequency most people never hear. He didn't talk much. He watched. Hours at the window, following the wind like a song. Across the street, Rusk, a bruise of a man, and his kid, Liam. You can sleep through shouting until the night the town forgets how. Sirens slid down the road. Tape went up. A stretcher crossed the porch light. Rusk, blood in his hair, told a clean, ugly story. A stranger broke in with a bat, knocked him down. And when Liam tried to stop it, the stranger swung. A wallet, a few gadgets. Gone. The town used its script. Unthinkable. Tragedy. We'll pray. Rusk begged to move. The investigation kept him in place. Sober for a week. Hollow for longer. A rainy afternoon, Sammy grinned at nothing outside the glass. What's funny? Him, he said, pointing at an empty street. That night, he set an extra plate at the table. He's hungry. What's your friend's name? He looked at the chair and smiled. Will. Beat, sort. We didn't know the boy next door was Liam. Close enough to flush the scalp with dread. I woke to footsteps measuring our hall. The front door hung wet open. Sammy stood under the oak that split our yard from Rusk's. He turned, eyes red with fever, mouth slack with a grief too big for a child. He's under here, he whispered, and collapsed. The doctor said virus. The sheriff said inactive case. I asked Mom, what was the boy's name? Liam, she said. Why? That night, Sammy mumbled in sleep. Liam, are you in here? I asked. His eyes slid to the corner, where a boy stood like fog with rust in his hair and wrong, pale eyes. Sammy rose, walked outside as if pulled by a string. We followed to the oak. He placed his palm on the ground. Dig. Beat. The shovel rang against wood, a towel that had been white, a bat that had not. Rusk's lie unraveled. A rage, a staging, a burial under a shared tree. They took him away. Sammy's fever broke before dawn. We moved, rent, save, auction, to a house with a yellow blossom tree and a pool. Beyond the fence, a 3-story apartment. The 3rd floor never lit. Its window faced mine like a closed eye. One hot Saturday, I drifted on the pool at dusk. When I opened my eyes, I knew I was being watched. A white-haired woman stood in the 3rd floor window, eyes too wide, mouth like paper left in rain. My phone rang inside. When I reached the door, a papery voice behind me said, "Isabel, you're still here. Run, or your husband will bury you beneath the flowers." My name isn't Isabel. Beat. Police humored me. The landlord said no one had lived there in 15 years, except an old woman who died in that window. Morning shrank the fear. An officer stayed. We walked to the yellow tree. The ground felt upset. We dug gently. The soil gave like a bed someone had just left. A ring flashed in the roots. Bones answered our questions. The paper named her Isabel. Blunt force. Back of skull. Husband gone. The window had been trying to tell somebody, anybody, for 15 years. 2020 locked the world. I worked from home. The couple next door fought like it paid. Storm night. The husband knocked. My wife's sick. "Can you watch the dog while I get medicine?" The dog trembled under his hand and calmed under mine. Power died. Candles staged the room. Around 10, I looked from my window into theirs. 2 silhouettes carried a third. Lights came back. Her throat wasn't a throat anymore. He saw me see him and sprinted for my door. Just the dog, through wood. "Please open." "I'm calling the police," I said. Too calm. He ran. She ran. The wife did not. The dog made a small sound I'd only heard once before. The sound a future makes when it knows what it is. We left within a month. Not for ghosts. I can manage ghosts. But for men who make ghosts. An apartment with elevator bells and other people's dinners in the hall. I slept like a stone at the bottom of a cold river. For 7 nights. On the 8th, my phone buzzed. Unknown. "Are you awake?" The peephole was a dark coin. Behind the door, the other quiet waited. A layered whisper slid through the keyhole. "We keep what we witness." I remembered Sammy and the oak, the woman at the window, the dog's small sound. Some houses confess. Some windows direct. Some names arrive when you're ready to hear them. If the night is holding its breath where you live, don't answer the knock. Listen. If a window remembers you, it might tell you where to dig. And if you're lucky, the sound you hear won't be shovel on bone. It'll be something that shouldn't be warm anymore, finally letting go. Beat. If this story stayed with you, subscribe to the Night Tour and comment the exact second you felt the chill. I'm reading everyone. Keep a light on. Keep the door locked. Keep listening.